Good morning and happy Friday. Jordan Keck, your complicated deal guy here with your weekly market update. Kicking things off, interest rates fairly stable, at least last week to this week. Seeing a lot of midweek volatility, but last week ended at 6.29%, this week at 6.32. Likely going to see that improve just a little bit today, so virtually flat week over week, but again, a lot of volatility in the middle of the week. While on our weekly mortgage tip, wanting to talk about VA appraisal turn times and oddities. Now, one of the things you may or may not know, depending on how many VA deals you do, is that the VA, they're a little strange in that they don't use an appraisal management company or an AMC like conventional FHA and USDA loans do. Instead, the VA has their own portal where the appraisal is ordered directly to the appraiser. And so we don't get to choose who the appraiser is, but your lender knows who the appraiser is the moment it's ordered because it's assigned, we get their contact information, and then it's directly from the appraiser to that portal when it's delivered. There's also no quoted turn times. So there's not going to be an ATA when it's ordered to say our report's going to be back at this date. The VA gives a certain amount of time per area everywhere in the United States, and that the appraiser can deliver the report within that time frame. If they do it sooner, that's completely up to them. Most of Oregon is 15 business days. There are some counties that are 12, and those include Clackamas, Lane, Marion, Multnomah, and Washington counties, but that's still 12 business days. Especially when you've got conventional and FHA appraisals coming back within about a week to 10 days at most calendar days, getting 12 to 15 business days for VA can definitely be a hindrance. And while a lot of appraisers do try and work to get those in sooner, it is not a guarantee. So interesting things on that. Other ones, you can't often do rushes. And it's up to the appraiser to determine when they can get it back. There is something that you may have run into with just the Tidewater Act, which says if the appraiser is going to come in below the purchase price on value, even by $100, they're required to give the lender notice within 48 hours and give them an opportunity to provide additional comparables to help justify the purchase price. During that time, there's no information given about where the value might come in, what comparables were used, so it's a little bit of a shot in the dark there. And so interesting things on that. If you have questions about VA appraisals, let me know. Happy to touch base with you on that. Next, as far as of course, the biggest thing news in the markets are looking at now is what's happening out of Iran. So in the last week, Iran attacked 3 ships in the Strait of Hormuz. Negotiations are still very fragile under the ceasefire, with Iran originally saying that they were fully opening the Strait of Hormuz this last weekend, but then on Saturday closed it again, blaming the US for continuing to have a naval blockade of the strait. Later in the week, again, Iran attacked 3 ships and seized 2 of them, likely in retaliation to the US seizing an Iranian ship, and then they continued blockade of the strait. Despite the attacks, the ceasefire does still remain in effect. Next up, we got pending home sales for up 1.5% for March, quite a bit stronger than the 0.5% that was expected. February was also revised higher from 1.8 to 2.5, making this report even stronger coming off of those heels. This is especially good to see considering the interest rates rose in March due to the Iran situation happening, so we're likely seeing some pent-up demand coming into the market. Next, Kevin Warsh had his Senate confirmation hearing to be the new Fed Chair and take place of Jerome Powell. While there was some concern around his personal investments, he did make an agreement to divest most of his personal investments, to divest all of them within 90 days of being confirmed, and said he would sell the majority before taking office. He said he believes the Fed should be independent and not just be an arm of the president or any particular political party. He did also say that he would like to reform the Fed to be a little bit less transparent and make it easier for Fed members to stay out of the spotlight, change their mind depending on different pieces of information that come out, and really adapt to what the market's doing, not try and grandstand, be in the media spotlight, and hold to a position in spite of criticism. Next up, we've got Cotality's February rent index, which is up 1.1% for the year, which is the slowest pace since 2010. At this time last year, rents were up 2.6%, so this is quite the deceleration where we're still seeing rents increase, but nowhere near this slow of a pace. The current pace is about a third of the pre-2020 average. Hopefully we'll see this help continue lower inflation numbers, as rents and home prices are some of those things that are factored into the inflation reports. And lastly here, the DOJ is expected to drop the criminal probe of the current Fed Chair Jerome Powell. The DOJ was originally examining whether Powell had committed fraud in his statements to Congress, potentially lying to them about the multi-billion-dollar renovation of the Washington, D.C. headquarters. Markets were relieved by the news and saw a small decrease in rates as a result. As always, hopefully this is helpful. Have a fantastic weekend. We'll see you next time. Take care.